Hi, my name is Sherry Benenhaley. I've been coming to Hope Chapel since around July of last year. The last day of July of that year, I found out that my sister was in a very bad place in her life and was making some major bad choices, and as a result of it, my nephew, who was 6 at the time, basically being left unattended and was living on the streets. I convinced her to let me take him before he was taken into custody by CPS. I got Tristan thinking that I would have him for a couple of months, and then hopefully that my sister would come and live in Indiana and try to get her life together. And the weeks turned into months, and it became obvious that that wasn't going to happen. And then there were times where I didn't hear from my sister for months and months on end. It was a very scary time, and God provided for me in every step along the way. I had a best friend that she was a married woman with 2 children, and I was a single woman with no children in a professional path, and somehow we were still connected and we were best friends. And I remember she told me after the fact that she had been praying for a best friend, and she always wondered why God had put me in her life as opposed to someone who had children. But once I had my nephew and I was suddenly thrown into parenting, I had this wonderful Christian woman with children as an example of how to parent, and I was able to consult her to find out, is Tristan's behavior normal because he's 6 or 7 or 8, or is it because he's been injured psychologically or emotionally? And it was just a wonderful gift, and there she was to hand me all of her son's clothing. So my needs were provided for in every possible way. I've never had to worry about money. If you ask Tristan, he'll tell you that we're poor, because I tell him that. When it comes to spending things, I tell him we're poor, but our needs are met and we're blessed. The day after I went and got him, I had to go and enroll him in school, and I walked into the school, and it was like all these women around me saying, talking to me as if I knew what was going on, and I had no clue. And I just looked at them and said, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just got him yesterday. And they took me into the principal's office, and these women surrounded me like little hens, and they told me everything I needed to do, where to take him for daycare, what to do to try to get him insurance. And they came and they gave him a new backpack for school with all the supplies, and it was just, I was overwhelmed by that. And then when my nephew got here, God put people in place. I found a girl online who had just moved here. She was a Christian who is a school teacher, and she teaches 2nd and 3rd grade, and so she was there at the right time, and she was available to babysit Tristan when I had things that I had to do for work. The next step for Tristan is unknown, and it's something that's unknown to him, it's unknown to me, and we just trust that God will have a hand in that. And there's times when Tristan asks me, when is he going to go back? And sometimes he's fearful about that, and I just have to turn that over to God. Carl's sermon was about Moses' mother having the faith to hand him over and trusting that God's will would be played out in Moses' life, and that really touched me, because I'm always thinking about what is it going to be like if I ever have to let go of Tristan. And that sermon really spoke to me, because I want to believe that I just have to do whatever God's will is today while Tristan is here with me, and hope that if he ever does leave, that whatever knowledge he's gained of God's graciousness and God's love will carry him through.